Hi, I'm Sean. I'm the product expert here at Kingston Future Shop. Today we're going to discuss the Imaging Science Foundation's calibration unit. Here in Kingston we've done quite well with our calibrations. What we've done is we've used the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows disc, part 1. What that's allowed us to do is show the customers the really fine details that are available within the dark scenes. And if you're aware of the movies, the Harry Potter movies are very, very dark. There's a lot of detail missing in amongst them. It's not the TV's fault though, or it's not the movie's fault, it's the TV's fault. There's also some really good bright scenes involved in there that you could actually show the natural image versus the unnatural image. If you think of Samsung, when you look around your TVs and around the store, the Samsung TVs are, they're going to get a lot of red tones out of the skins. LG is going to have green tones in the skin. The Sharp's going to have yellow skin tones. Kind of yellowy green pasty skin. That's the manufacturer setting up their TVs to look a little bit different from one another, just to show that they are different when they're on the shelves. They're not the same TV side by side, because realistically if they're the same TV side by side, why not just buy the cheapest one? So the Imaging Science Foundation came up with a way of taking each one of those TVs by measuring Kelvins, gamma, and grayscale to enable our certified installers, as you have in your store or available to you through a hub store, to go ahead and do the installs and make these TVs perfect in every way. If we go and look here at what I have on my demo, with our LG demo we have the two set up, with the bottom TV here being the calibrated television. If you look at scene 2 in Deathly Hallows, you're going to notice that Professor Snape goes to walk up the stairs. Pause it there and show your customer how Professor Snape on the calibrated TV really stands out. He's silhouetted against the backdrop versus being part of the backdrop. You can also show that in the fireplace, the details that are available within the fireplace and the pictures that are up and along the wall. When you think of the movie Harry Potter, think of the millions and millions of dollars they have spent on props and character in the movie. If you are watching the movie with a TV that's not calibrated, you're just not getting the fine details. You're missing the boat, guys. Like you really have to have a passion for this. And I think that if you watch this movie on the calibrated unit, you yourself will become passionate. You'll see the difference, you'll see the value, and you'll be able to transfer that in your presentation. If you continue on, you're going to have Professor Snape walk up the stairs. When he gets to the top of the stairs, I want you to pause and we're going to look at a couple of different things. So when he's here, on the LG TVs, as I mentioned, they're very, very blue. So at the top TV right now, he looks like a Smurf. On the bottom TV, he's very, very neutral. He looks like a proper skin tone. What you're also going to notice with that is that the detail within his cloak has come out as well. So you're going to see all the buttons, you're going to see the fine details, you're going to see the back curtains, so they're going to look really, really good. If you look at the top TV, it looks like somebody's standing with a big floodlight lighting the stairway. On the calibrated television, it looks like natural light coming up the stairs, and that is what you want. We're going to continue on here for a moment and let the image run through. Pause it once again where the girl is floating in the air and her hair is draped down. On the right side of her hair, you're going to notice that she's actually, you can see in the calibrated TV all the strands of hair that she has. You'll see the wood grain in behind Wormtail, and you'll see that there's much more detail on the side here. On the top TV, it looks like black panels, and they're not black panels, as we're aware. As you continue on, you're going to notice a few more features. Point out the deep blacks that are available, but also point out the details. If you pause it there, the gentleman on the top, the first one in from Lord Voldemort, looks like he's wearing some Ray-Bans or something. And we'll notice on the bottom of the TV, it's a shadow on his eye sockets. Point that out. Point out the amount of grain that's in the top television versus the bottom television, okay? As you continue on from there as well, you're going to have the group shot again. You can see the fine details. You can see the floor as Professor Snape walks in. You can pause it there and you can see Mr. Malfoy's hair looks white on the top TV instead of blonde. Okay? It's just the real true color, the true picture, the true image. You really got to focus on that. If you're talking to the customer about how the fine details are brought out and you can show them, you can even ask them, do you see any difference? Quite often I'll ask them. If you've qualified your customer properly and said, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, are you really looking for the best picture quality possible? They can't say no to this because that's what it is. You have to ask that, you have to qualify. If you haven't qualified, then you're just showing them an add-on. And that's not what we want to do. We want to show them value of product. We want to show them how to do this. You can sell them a $900 TV calibrated, which will outperform a $1,200 or $1,300 TV that's not calibrated. Keep that in mind. Ask their budget. Is it $1,500 bucks? Great. Would you like me to sell you a $1,500 television? Would you like me to sell you a television that's calibrated and has some attached to it? And we got all these things that are out there together, and we know everything's working perfectly fine. We've got the perfectly calibrated television. That's what you want. Get excited. It's exciting. It's awesome. Be there with them. The last thing I'll show you in the dark scene is that there's a gentleman that sits at the end of the table, and that gentleman's wearing the god-awful worst suit in the world on the non-calibrated TV, but in reality it's actually quite a nice suit. So pause it right there. You'll see in the top TV that Wormtail is holding a gun. You can't really make out what it is. On the bottom TV you'll actually notice that it's really a gun. If you look at his suit, on the top TV it looks like it's a black and white suit, when in fact it's actually brown and gray. So it's a very nice, very sharp suit. There's going to be a scene here in just a second as well where the snake is on the floor. When you look at that snake, you'll see that he actually blends in. You'll pause it there. Here we make out every detail of the snake and the floor which it's on. On the top scene, the floor is gone and the snake is kind of gone with it. There's part of the snake missing. We know that's not true. We know the snake is there. We need to show it. We need to show the value of that. Now we're going to go to a bright scene. It's scene 17. There's going to be a few extra things we do in scene 17. And if you notice, I'm not whipping through this and taking my time. This is exactly how I would do this for a customer. I would actually show them exactly what I'm doing now. And you want to be excited, you want to be happy, you want to be showing them, right? Do this, you'll succeed for sure. This is scene 17. It's middle of dusk. It's not high noon, it's not anything like that. We need to keep this in mind for the customer. On the top screen, it looks like we've got frost or some kind of snow or something on the ground. If you look at the bottom image, it's mud, it's dirt, it's brush on the ground. Looks like maybe some pine needles or something. Make sure you point that out. Make sure you point out the trees. The trees look up here that they've got like some frost, maybe some mold, moss, something like that. A lot of these look natural, okay? That's actually a really great spot as well. They're talking about the wattage that's actually used in the product. If you look at the top TV right now, it's using 101 watts of energy. Our bottom TV is using 58 watts of energy. So you're looking at a savings of about 33% of energy in terms of wattage. That's pretty drastic, okay? So make sure you have the wattage meters on there. If you don't have them, get them. Okay, DSMs, get onto that. As we continue through, it's going to come to Hermione. And what Hermione is going to do, she's tying on a bow around the tree, a scarf around the tree. Okay? Take note of her jacket and how her jacket has a sash around it. On that sash, you can barely see it on the top. On the bottom, TV is very prominent. The next thing to say is when you're talking about how it's not high noon, there are no shadows. If it was extremely bright and if it was supposed to be high noon, there would be shadows everywhere. There are no shadows. Point that out. You're going to go to one more scene where Harry and Hermione evaporate. Okay. Point out the ugly sweater he's wearing too in this scene. It's really terrible. The skin tones are awful. The grain is horrid. As they evaporate, they show up here. Pause it there for a quick second. Talk again about skin tones, about the grain within the image. Talk about how he grew a beard on the top screen that actually isn't even there on the bottom screen. Okay. Then fast forward it slightly to the tent. The tent is a really, really good scene as well. It shows natural light really well. Allow it to come forward. You're going to go forward for about 10 seconds, and they're going to show the tent. Play it from here. Okay, it's just as the night falls, you're going to show the tent. On the top screen, it looks like there's a light shining from the other side of the tent. On the bottom screen, it looks like the light's coming from inside the tent, where it's supposed to be. You'll notice again that Harry's sweater on here, you can actually see the fine details. You can see the fur off of the sweater. On the top TV, that is non-existent. Here we are in the tent. A couple of great things to point out is the light. It's very natural, it's very realistic. If you've ever had a lantern on, it doesn't look like a spotlight. Okay. You can really appreciate underneath the bed where you can actually see the details that are available to you there. You can see that in the picnic table. There's a ton of detail up along the picnic table, up and along the background. On the top TV, none of those things are there. They made, there's 250 crates of product that are actually being put out on display that are simply props from the Harry Potter movie. So you can see that if there are 250 shipping crates, there's a lot of details available there that we're just not seeing because our TVs are not calibrated. Speak to the fact that your technicians are certified. Speak to the fact that we use the Imaging Science Foundation's calibration units. It is not a calibration disc. calibration disc can be bought for $10. Why would Future Shop not just get those discs for your customers and hand them to them and go, here you go, do it yourself, or give them to our technicians to have them do it? The reason we charge $300 is because it's worth it, and because our technicians are certified technicians. If somebody just wants a simple disc, let them have the disc. It's not the same. Okay? Our technicians actually have the disc, and they can show our customers the same. It might be a good idea to have. Okay? That's it for me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me here at the store, 613-634-7261, or have your DSM get in touch with me via email. Be glad to help you out. Thanks very much.